Hi everybody, Ron Placone here. You're watching another edition of Media Bites, which I feel I should point out is brought to you by a free and open internet. Today's episode deals with net neutrality. Now, I mentioned the Verizon versus FCC ruling earlier in the week, but I wanted to have a separate segment dedicated to it, especially as it unfolded a little more. Basically, Verizon took the FCC to court, saying the FCC can't have any authority over broadband services, and the court ruled because of the wording that the FCC used while designating internet services, they referred to it as information services as opposed to telecommunication services. The court ruled in favor of Verizon, and this did essentially destroy net neutrality. In a nutshell, net neutrality assures a free and open internet, meaning a broadband company can't give priority to certain websites over others. They can't make one website faster than another. They can't give preference to different users based on how much they pay. They can't have a subscription service or anything quite like that. Now that we don't have net neutrality anymore, the door kind of opens for all of that to happen and the internet as we know it to become more like cable television, essentially. But let's not freak out and throw in the towel quite yet. See, the FCC can kind of change their wording. They can reclassify it and try again. They can appeal to the court. There's still a lot of action that can be taken here. So a lot of people that are saying, oh, it's the death of the internet, it's over. Well, wait. There's still a big fight to put up here. Nothing is over yet. This can't just be shrugged off either because, you know, there's that whole cliche out there that if we don't learn from history, we're bound to repeat it. I bring this up because the last time there was some significant media policy that really changed our media landscape for the negative was the Telecommunications Act of 1996. Now, of course, when this bill was passed, it was under the guise of, oh, well, this is giving the media back to the people to prevent a government takeover of the airwaves. We're going to give it back and assure diversity and assure everyone has access and stuff like that. Of course, the Telecommunications Act did the complete opposite of that. It completely corporatized the airwaves. Because their logic was at best flawed and at worst deceptive. I mean, saying, hey, we don't want to have a government monopoly, so we're just not going to have any kind of rules or regulations whatsoever. That'd be like if all the police officers in the country were like, hey, we don't want to tase people unnecessarily or have unnecessary violence on our end, so we're just going to eliminate the police force altogether. Whoa, wait a second, that's not the answer. We need some law enforcement, it's just don't abuse your power. Sadly, some law enforcement haven't gotten that memo, but that's an issue for a different day. The reason I bring all this up is because Tom Wheeler, in his explanation in regarding net neutrality, the first thing he mentions was, look, the government's not going to take over the internet. The government's not going to regulate the internet. On the same note, we're going to assure a free and open internet. Basically, he's playing both sides of the fiddle, but we need to hold the FCC accountable to that whole free and open internet part. Having net neutrality does not mean that the government regulates the internet. Having net neutrality means that a bunch of private corporations can't regulate the internet. But if we just let the FCC throw their arms up and say, oh well, like we let them do in 1996, then the same thing's going to happen in regards to policy, and we're going to lose net neutrality for good. Let's learn from our mistakes this time. This is Ron Placone, signing out.